Sharon and her friend Zara was expecting an extra roommate because the rent was too much for them to pay. The agent brought in a new girl. She introduced herself as Carol to Zara and Sharon. They were happy that they have a new roommate that they will be sharing the expenses in the house with. After Carol introduced herself, Zara also introduced herself and Sharon did the same. Zara said, "You are welcome," and of course you know the rules already. Immediately Carol said, "Sharon, I thought you said earlier." "No, I live with a roommate. She's my best friend from school." "Oh, I thought she was the cleaner that you talked about." Zara could not take that insult and wanted to go at it with Carol, but Sharon stopped them. After a few days, Carol settled in the house. She plugged in her camera, lights, and actions into what she does best, which is influencing. Of course, she's been known on the internet as somebody who is a big influencer and has a lot of money. But nothing like that has shown so far, and Zara began to doubt her. But Carol, after a few weeks in the house, bought herself a car, a huge Benz, which she started flaunting. This was like a competition between herself and Zara. Zara could not believe it, but still doubting that Carol has money. One day, Zara asked Sharon, "Don't you think Carol's lifestyle is fake? Why is she squatting with us?" Immediately, Sharon said, "What are you saying?" She gave us a reason why she is in this house. "You know very well that she came from South Africa and she is trying to study the country first before she, have her own apartment," just like she said. Zara was not believing that, but of course, Sharon tried to convince her otherwise. One day, Sharon received a call from her mother that her mother is very sick and needed some amount of money for operations and most hospital bills and things like that. Sharon doesn't have the money, so she gave them only 100,000 naira to sort out the medical bills and consultation before she gathered herself and get money for operations and things like that. Zara came into the house and realized that Sharon looks very worried. And after Sharon narrates what she's going through, Zara promised to give her some 50,000 K if she gets the money she's expecting within the week. Sharon was happy to hear that. Then, after a few months that Carol has been in the house, she has been able to convince Zara and Sharon that she has a lot of money. Well, that did not last at all. One day, they were in the house when some group of men came and attacked Carol because she's owing them some amount of money due to the car she rented, which is the Benz. Well, Sharon tried her best to protect Carol, but that was not the case. The men were able to fight them, took the car keys and left, and also collecting some amount of money from them. At this point, while the guys were leaving, Sharon and Carol begged and begged, but that was not the case. Zara came into the house immediately to witness what was happening. Sharon tried to stop. Zara was happy because she knew in her guts that Carol had no money at all. At this point, Zara was happy, mocking Carol. Carol could not take it any longer. Carol and Zara fought a little bit. Sharon tried to stop the ladies, but of course, they were too stubborn, strong-headed. Zara continued to mock and laugh at Carol. After that incident, Carol began to respect herself and minimize herself with the lies, even though she continued to lie in the internet or influence people on the internet that she is still rich, but her friends knows the truth. One day, Sharon received a call from a stranger who told her that Zara has borrowed some 5 million naira from them and she's being used as the guarantor, so they will have to trace her and collect that 5 million from her. Immediately, Sharon said, "Look, I am not the one who is going to pay that 5 million. I don't even know that she took money. And you people, once you use my name as guarantor, the first thing you should do is call me and confirm if I am supposed to be the guarantor. Well, I don't have that money. The people could not understand and Sharon cut the call. Minutes later, Zara came back from wherever she was in town and Sharon got so mad at her and told her, "So you borrowed 5 million naira. For what exactly?" Zara at this point could not believe it, and she confessed that she took the money to buy some designer bag and shoes. And then Sharon said, "What's your designer bag?" She showed them the designer bag, and immediately Carol laughed. "So you bought fake bag?" "Oh, I see. You are competing with me, right?" Well, at this point, Sharon does not care about what the two girls want to say, but rather say, "Look, don't use my name as guarantor anymore. We are barely surviving in this house, and you went to borrow 5 million naira for bag and shoes. Really?" Really? Zara said, "I'm sorry. I'll pay back." "Well, you need to pay them back before they come to this house, trace us and arrest us, or arrest you rather, because you took the money." Zara said, "Well, I think I'll sell this bag." Carol laughed and said, "So you want to sell fake Gucci bag? Who is going to buy the fake bag anyway?" At this point, they realized they were in deep shit. One day, after all this wahala they've been going through, trying to please themselves, compete with themselves, they heard a very loud noise from Sharon's room. They rushed to her room, only to find her almost crying and breaking down. They asked her what was the problem, and she confessed that she has been duped. Rather, should I say, the money she was supposed to get out of the $500,000 that they did, she was not getting any penny. In fact, they haven't given her any penny. They didn't understand. Immediately, Zara said, "Wait, you mean the $500,000 you've been telling me about, that you get your share? The money came and didn't get your own?" "Yes. This guy has blocked me. In fact, I cannot even contact any of the guys." Carol was confused again and was asking, What? So you people have this amount this amount of money in this house?" She wasn't getting it until Zara shouted at her and said, "Will you keep quiet? Sharon is into fraud, and the boys she's been working with, they're supposed to pay her their money, her percentage, and they have refused or blocked her according to her." "Wait, so you, Sharon, that you do yourself like you are the Virgin Mary in this house, you are into fraud? Oh la la." Immediately Zara said, "Look, this is not the time to laugh. That money she would have gotten and would have solved some of the problems in this house. And she's a very kind girl. She would have given us something out of that money. This is not the time to laugh." Immediately Carol said, "Yeah, that's true. Wow. So we are broke in this house." At this point, the ladies realized they are fucked up and they didn't know what to do. So after a week, their bills started piling up. 2 weeks, their bills started. A month, they realized, no, if they don't do something about it, they will be kicked out of this house. They were in the kitchen trying to strategize how to come up with money for their bills. Immediately, Carol said, "I have this plug. He connects ladies with big men in town. If you guys are interested, I can call him up so that we connect with him and he will give us some big men." Immediately, Sharon said, "What do you mean by that? You want us to do prostitution?" Well, Carol said, "It's not necessarily prostitution like that. What it is that we'll just vibe with the men and they'll give us money." Zara said, "What do you mean vibe with the men? You want us to just vibe? Who vibes with men and give them money? That is not true, right?" Sharon also said, "Yeah, that's not true." Immediately, Carol said, "Wait, are you two virgins or what? This is not a time to talk about. It's just one time thing. Let's just do this and get this money so that we can pay our bills." They were silent in deep talk for a second and realized that they actually need this money in this plug anyway. After all, they are not virgins, so they agree. Carol quickly called her plug, and the next day, a guy came, Mr. Don came, and she said, "Wow, this man, okay, Dirty Don said, well, I heard a story. I know you guys need some quick cash, and I'm going to connect you with my madam, and she's going to do the rest. They dressed up, and they went with Don to go and see their madam. Madam told them, look, this is the deal. You meet this man, and you give us our 30%. Quickly, after giving us our 30%, then, of course, the rest of the money is yours. And if the man asks you to sleep with them, you have to do that because that is where the money will come from. Immediately, Sharon did not buy the idea and she walked out. Zara and Carol walked to her again and said, Sharon, this is not the time to be working out. We need this money. They went back to the room and they connected with them with the money. They came back the next day with their 2 million naira each. They were so happy that, yes, they have money now. They sorted their bills out and everything. Exactly a week after, they were broke again. Again, they didn't know what to do. Carol said, well, we need to go back and do what we did the last time. At this point, no, that was not the case because the man, Mr. Don, came and said, if you guys want to do this thing again, well, at this time, the men only requested for Zara and Sharon. Carol was not angry at all. He said, why not? I mean, when they go and come, the money, they'll still give me something. So I'm not in any way in a hurry. Some other block will come. They were happy. Sharon didn't want to go, and it was too early. Sharon was on her menses. She was menstruating at the time. Immediately, they don't say, look, there are so many medicines that will stop that bleeding for a while. If you're interested, let's do this thing quick. You need the money. Look, I don't have no time to waste. Immediately Sharon said, okay. Zara and Sharon went on this deal. Sharon slept with this man and the man gave her $2,500 instead of $2,000. She was happy to take the money. On the other hand, Zara met this man who wanted to do BDSM with her. In fact, he actually did BDSM with her and beat the hell out of Zara. Zara could not believe her eyes. Immediately, Sharon came to the room and rescued her after the man has done deal with her mercilessly. They took Zara to the hospital to treat her. She was getting better. And she was getting better. Sharon, on the other hand, could not understand what was happening to her body. She has been bleeding for weeks and she started getting sick. She was hiding it earlier, but immediately Carol saw that something was wrong with Sharon. She asked and Sharon had to confess and said, see, she slept with this man and this was what has been happening to her for weeks. They were so shocked and asked her why she didn't say it earlier. She said she has done so many tests, but still nothing. Immediately Carol said, I don't think this is normal. This has to be spiritual. We need to go to the pastor. So they prepared themselves and went to the pastor, and the pastor said, yeah, this is spiritual. The man you slept with took something away from you, and that is why you're bleeding. Don't worry, there's nothing God cannot do. So the pastor prayed with them and asked them to stop their devious means of getting money. This has to serve as a lesson to all young ladies who are doing dubious businesses, dubious things to get money, just to please strangers on the internet. This when the ladies confessed their sins, pastor prayed for them, and they promised never to go back to their old ways. At this point, week after that, they got some special healing, especially Sharon, who saw her healing. The bleeding stopped. Zara also got better from the beatings, and the three ladies decided to share their story with the world and advise young girls and even boys to stop all these dirty dealings, spiritual means just to get money, and please the internet. Thanks for watching this recap. This channel brings you the best Nollywood movies. We save you time and money. Don't forget to subscribe and like our videos for more movie recap.